Woke up this morning and the first thing you did was check your phone. You did not think about it. Your hand just moved. Your eyes adjusted to the glow and the pull was immediate, almost magnetic, as though something ancient and insistent inside you had already made the decision before your conscious mind even arrived. That is not a bad habit. That is evolution misfiring in the 21st century. Your body was built for a world that no longer exists. Not metaphorically, literally. The machinery inside you, your cravings, your fears, your reflexes, your instincts, was engineered across millions of years for an environment that vanished long before you were born. And the mismatch between what your biology expects and what your life actually delivers is the hidden explanation behind almost everything strange and uncomfortable about being human today. Start with sugar. You love it. You probably know you eat too much of it. You have been told that. You have told yourself that. And you do it anyway. Because the part of your brain that makes that decision is not listening to your intentions. It is listening to a world that disappeared roughly 10,000 years ago. Your ancestors spent the vast majority of human existence as hunter-gatherers. For hundreds of thousands of years, ripe fruit was one of the only sources of concentrated energy in the natural world. When you found it, you ate as much as you possibly could. Not because you were greedy, because you were smart, because tomorrow it would be gone, rotted, eaten by something else, or simply out of reach. The ones who crammed in the calories survived. The ones who showed restraint did not pass their restraint on to anyone. Anthropologist Herman Poncer spent years studying the Hadza people of Tanzania, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer populations on Earth. What he found dismantled a foundational assumption of modern health science. The Hadza walk enormous distances, dig for tubers, carry water, climb trees. They are extraordinarily active, and their total daily energy expenditure is statistically identical to that of a sedentary office worker in Chicago. Your body regulates itself. It compensates. It hoards. That is not a flaw. That is the design. In a world of scarcity, a body that conserves energy is a body that survives a bad season. In a world of abundance, that same body quietly accumulates everything you give it and asks for more. You are not weak. You are mismatched. Now think about your eyes. You have probably noticed that you cannot stop looking at faces, strangers across a restaurant, a profile photo on a screen, a face glimpsed through a window on a moving train. Your gaze lands on human faces with a precision and a speed that no other object in the world can compete with. Neuroscientist Nancy Canwisher identified a specific region of the brain, the fusiform face area, that appears to be dedicated almost entirely to processing human faces. It activates faster and more powerfully than any other visual stimulus the brain encounters. Why would evolution allocate that much neural real estate to faces? Because for most of human history, reading a face correctly was the difference between safety and death. A face told you whether the person in front of you was a friend or a threat. It told you whether the man approaching your camp was calm or furious. It told you whether the person handing you food was trustworthy. You had a fraction of a second to make that read and act on it. Your brain never stopped doing that. It does it constantly, automatically, beneath your awareness with every face it encounters, including the faces on your screen, including the faces in advertisements, including the faces in movies and on television programs that your nervous system cannot fully distinguish from real humans it might need to respond to. That is why parasocial relationships feel so real. That is why watching a stranger's face on video can move you. That is why your brain drains energy keeping track of people you will never meet as though they are members of your tribe. They are members of your tribe. Your brain does not know the difference. Go deeper. Think about why silence makes you uneasy. Most people, if placed in a genuinely quiet room with nothing to do, become agitated within minutes. Psychologist Timothy Wilson ran a series of studies in which participants were asked to sit alone in a room with no phone, no book, and no external stimulation for 15 minutes. The majority found it deeply unpleasant.